Okay, let's talk about number 3 from the 5th. So we're going to talk about something you can do to help make the transition stuff easier. So basically, in practicing this, you can kind of do something similar to what I demonstrated with earlier today, when saying like you could, strum a C chord on the first of 4 beats. So you got your 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically, you strum the chord, and then you get to the other chord as fast as you can. So I'm going to do something like that here. So I'm going to make a small change. Oops. Yeah, I'm just doing this for demonstration stuff. You don't need to change any of this stuff on your end. Of course, probably hard to do since you don't have the program. So I'll give you a couple options here. So this is one way. So you're basically going to go 1 and 2 and 3. So beat 3, you have nothing. And then also beat 3, you have nothing. So this is like just practicing going between the C and the E minor chord. So what you can do in working this up is go 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3. So go back and forth between them like twice. So once and twice. And so you do that and then bump the metronome up by 5 beats per minute and do it again. So as soon as that last note's hit, move over, get it correctly with just one repeat there. So basically both chords twice. So 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3. Now, if you find that to be too challenging, like say it just feels like you don't have enough time, you can always, without me changing the time signature, so it'll look a little bit weird here, but basically treat it like a 4/4 and just give yourself 2 beats to change. So then you'd have 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 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 and so on. And you can do that with any of the chords you might have any struggle with. So just one thing to keep in mind here when working on this. So when you have the minor chord shapes, the easiest way to know it's a minor chord shape is you look at the chord name up here. So the little m, meaning the minor, always going to be in the same shape, regardless if you're starting on the E or the A string. It's just starting on the E string, you have the major, or it is a major, and then when you move it to starting on the A string, it becomes minor because of how the guitar is tuned again. So, like when you go from the E minor to the D minor, don't take your hand off the guitar and set it up again. This is because it's the exact same shape. So you want that when you're going to E minor to the D, so the 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, just shift your hand down. That's all you gotta do. So another thing you can do is like practice going between just the E minor and D minor. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, and same thing with like the G and the F chord. Just highlight that line. So yeah, you just really bloop. Yeah, let's do all of it. You can just practice going between those two because again, it's the same shape, same strings, so no need to take your hand off and then reset everything. Keep them down there. 1, 2, and 3, and 1, and 2, and 3. Slide it up. 1, and 2, and 3, and 1, and 2, and 3. Slide down. 1, and 2, and 3, and 1, and 2, and 3. 1, and 2, and 3, and 1, and 2, and 3, and so on. So hopefully those little tips there will prove somewhat helpful. Let's go on to the brand new and change a little bit here. Okay, so this is just back to nothing but power chords, and keep your hand down the whole time. Don't take your fingers off the strings and reset anything. Try your best to keep the noise, or keep the notes ringing out as long as possible. So, sure, the faster you get, the easier it should get to, get used to the idea of keeping your fingers down. So definitely be working this one up with a metronome. See if you can get this to 100. If that seems too easy, work up to 200. Or not 200, sorry, 120. Good grief, that's a big jump. Anyway, so here it is at 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 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 3, 4. So, just thought of something that might be a question. So we talked about like some of these chord changes. We're practicing the chord changes for example number 3 from the 5th, and I mentioned, like, once you get that last note, just get to the next chord right away, kind of thing. So that's not going to work here. You don't want to go 1 and 2 and 3 and then shift your hand real fast. 1 and 2 and 3 and then shift real fast. You don't want to do that here, because part of this, well, we're still working on getting you to transition to chord without taking your hand off the strings and letting all the notes ring out as long as possible. So the idea behind having the half note here is so you have a little bit more time to look ahead at where you're going to go. So after you hit your 1 and 2 and 3, start looking at that 3rd fret and then shift that first finger up there. And hopefully these guys follow suit correctly. So basically just look ahead. Kind of look where you're going to go. 1 and 2 and 3, look ahead. 1 and 2 and 3, look ahead. 1 and 2 and 3, look ahead, and so on. So hopefully that makes some sense. Here it is at 80 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 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 3, 4. 100 beats per minute. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 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 3, 4. And 120 beats a minute. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3. Oh my goodness, I missed a note. Take 2. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 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 3, 4, 1 and 2 2. Gotta change this to this. Okay. So here, it's a little more acceptable to start changing the chord or going to the next chord a little early. So what I would do is, after you hit the third note, and the third note being a half note, wait until at least beat number 4 before you start changing to the next string. Eventually, your hand will be fast enough to change right on the downbeat. So, the ultimate goal is to wait exactly until beat number 1 comes in to start changing to the chord. So, I mentioned that something like this, because you're only picking one string at a time, what I usually do is I'll put one finger down at a time as I build the chord. But by the time I hit the third note, I will have all 3 fingers down for that. So when I start, because we're just at the beginning, I will have the first C5 chord held down already. But then when I go to the F5, then I'll put one finger down at a time. But again, when I hit that third note in the bar, all 3 fingers are down. And then it kind of follows suit for the rest. So I'll put one finger down at a time, but leave them down as I progress. So this way you hear the arpeggio happening. You hear the arpeggio ringing all together anyway. Alright, so here we go. Same idea. See if you can work it up to 100 for a minimum speed, and then maybe 120 for a max speed. But if you feel like you can go faster with any of these, you're welcome to do so. Just still start at 60 and make sure you get some speeds in between there. Anyway, here we go at 60 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's 80 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 100 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here's 120. A 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, number 3. With the goal of just getting you used to reading the tab and getting more comfortable with more movement. Okay. So, same speed goal idea. Here we go with 60. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 100 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 120 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Sometimes all that counting will make you yawn. It makes me yawn. Brain's craving more oxygen. Okay, so this one is mainly about changing the strings at the right place, and I guess it's a bit of bar chord practice. So we start with the A minor bar chord, which anywhere you start this chord, it's just like the power chord, just like the fifth chord. No matter where you start this chord, starting on that low E string, it's a power chord or fifth chord. It's always a fifth chord. So anywhere you play this, so long as you're on all 6 strings, always a minor chord. And just like this one, no matter where you play it, so long as you're on all 6 strings, that is a major chord. So, starting with the minor, then going into the major, same deal. I'm going to start at 60. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 80 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 100 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 120. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And one thing I like to do with these minor chords is I'll actually take my middle finger and plop it right on top of my index finger and just give myself a little bit more pressure to hold that bar down. I think that covers it all, but you're definitely welcome to send any questions, whatnot. before next class, I'm going to have my laptop with me. There's still some stuff I intend on doing while I'm out in California. Still got some advertising I want to stay on top of and whatnot. But yeah, any questions at all, let me know. Good luck with it all, and I will see you again in 2 weeks.